Commander Jake Morrison sat in his chair on Aegis Station. The space station moved slowly around Earth. Jake had been watching the dark space for 5 years. Nothing ever happened out here. Space was empty and quiet. Amy Rodriguez worked at the big computer screen next to him. She listened for radio signals from far away. Most days, she heard nothing but static. Amy was 26 years old and good at her job. She came from Texas and missed the warm weather. "Jake, come look at this," Amy said. Her voice sounded worried. Jake walked over to her station. The screen showed many red dots moving toward them. The computer was making beeping sounds. Amy had never seen anything like this before. "What am I looking at?" Jake asked. "Something big is coming from deep space," Amy said. "The computer says there are hundreds of objects. They are moving very fast. Toward our solar system," Jake felt. His heart beat faster. In all his years in space, nothing like this had ever happened. He pressed a button on the wall. "Get me Admiral Grant right now," he said into the speaker. Admiral Lisa Grant was on Earth at the Space Command Center. She was 50 years old and had gray hair. Lisa had been a soldier for 30 years. She was tough and smart. When her phone rang, she was drinking coffee and reading reports. "Admiral, this is Jake Morrison on Aegis Station. We have a problem." Lisa put down her coffee cup. Jake never called unless something was wrong. "What kind of problem?" she asked. "We are seeing many large objects coming toward Earth. Amy says there might be hundreds of them." Lisa stood up fast. Her chair fell backward. "Send me all the data right now," she said. The information came to Lisa's computer in seconds. She looked at the numbers and felt cold. The objects were huge. They were the size of buildings, and they were moving faster than anything humans had. Everbelt Dr. Nathan Price worked in the same building as Admiral Grant. He studied aliens and space. Nathan was thin and wore thick glasses. He had been waiting his whole life for this moment. When Lisa called him to her office, he ran down the hall. "Nathan, look at this," Lisa said. She showed him the data on her computer. Nathan's hands shook as he read the numbers. This was really happening. Aliens were coming to Earth. "How long do we have?" Nathan asked. 3 days, maybe 4, Lisa said. Captain Maria Santos was on her ship called the Defiance. It was one of 12 human warships. Maria was young but brave. She had black hair and dark eyes. Her ship was small compared to what was coming. The alien ships appeared near Jupiter. There were 847 of them. Each ship was 10 times bigger than any human ship. They looked like giant metal fish with sharp points. The leader of the aliens was called War Prime's Ethkalar. He was 7 feet tall with blue skin and 4 arms. He had fought many wars across the galaxy. Zethkalar had destroyed 47 different planets. Earth would be number 40-8. Zeth Kalar stood on his command ship. It was 5 miles long and covered with weapons. He looked at the small blue planet ahead of them. "These humans are weak," he told his officers. "Their ships are tiny. Their weapons are primitive. This will be easy." The other alien officers agreed. They had never lost a war. Every planet they visited either surrendered or died. Humans would do the same. Back on Earth, people were scared. The news showed pictures of the alien ships. Everyone could see them in the sky at night. They looked like new stars, but they were getting brighter each day. Admiral Grant called together all the military leaders. They met in a big room underground. The room had thick concrete walls and no windows. "We have maybe 60 hours before they reach us," Lisa said. "Does anyone have ideas?" General Rick Thompson was there. He was a big man with a deep voice. Rick had been planning for this day for 20 years. "We have some surprises for them," Rick said quietly. Captain Tony Clark flew the fastest fighter ship humans had built. It was called Hawk 7. Tony was only 28, but he was the best pilot in space. He had practiced fighting for years, even though there was no enemy to fight. My ship is ready, Tony said. But I can't fight 847 ships by myself. Major Kate Williams controlled the missile systems on Earth. She had hundreds of rockets pointed at the sky. Kate was calm and serious. She never smiled, but everyone trusted her. The missiles are loaded and ready, Kate said. Lieutenant Colonel Ben Hayes was on the moon. He ran the weapons there. Ben had been building secret guns for 10 years. Big guns that could shoot metal rods very fast. Lunar base is ready, Ben reported through the radio. Dr. Nathan Price had been studying the alien radio signals. He learned their language quickly. Nathan was very smart and good with languages. Admiral, I can understand what they are saying, Nathan said. They think we are stupid animals. They are not worried about us at all. Good, Lisa said. Let them think that. The alien fleet got closer. War Prime Zethkalar sent a message to Earth. Nathan translated it for everyone. Primitive humans, the message said. We are the Kethtor Dominion. We rule this part of space. You will surrender in 72 hours. If you do not surrender, we will kill everyone on your planet. You cannot fight us. Do not try. Lisa looked around the room at all the military officers. Everyone was quiet. Gentlemen and ladies, she said. They want us to surrender. What do you think we should tell them? Captain Maria Santos spoke first. I think we should show them what humans can do when someone threatens our home. Everyone else agreed. They would fight. War Prime Zethkalar waited for an answer from the humans. He was sure they would surrender quickly. Every other species had given up when they saw his fleet. But the humans sent a different message. This is Admiral Lisa Grant of Earth. We do not surrender. If you want our planet, you will have to take it. We will fight you with everything we have. Zethkalar laughed when he heard this. These stupid humans would learn quickly. His ships had weapons that could destroy cities. His army had never been defeated. Prepare for attack, he told his fleet. We will crush them in one day. The alien ships moved into attack formation. They spread out in a long line. Each ship charged its weapons. Soon the humans would be dead, and Earth would belong to the Kethtor Dominion. But the aliens did not know what the humans had been building in secret. They did not know about the hidden weapons. They did not know that Earth had been preparing for this day for decades. The battle was about to begin. War Prime Zethkalar gave the order to attack. His 847 ships moved toward Earth like a pack of wolves. The alien commander felt confident. He had done this many times before. Fire on their space stations first, he told his weapons officers. Show them our power. The alien ships shot bright beams of energy at the human stations in space. These plasma beams had destroyed entire fleets before. They were hot enough to melt steel in seconds. Commander Jake Morrison watched the beams coming toward Aegis Station. He pressed the alarm button. Red lights flashed everywhere. All hands, prepare for impact, he said over the speaker. The plasma beams hit the station hard. The walls shook, and the lights went out for a moment. But when the lights came back on, Jake was still alive. The station was damaged but not destroyed. How are we still here? Amy Rodriguez asked. She was holding onto her chair. Jake smiled for the first time in days. Our shields are stronger than they thought. The humans had been working on their defenses for 20 years. The space stations had thick armor and energy shields. They were built to survive attacks from unknown enemies. War Prime Zethkalar saw that his first attack had failed. This surprised him. Most space stations would have been vaporized by his plasma cannons. Fire again, he ordered. Use more power. But before the aliens could shoot again, something unexpected happened. The moon lit up with bright flashes. Lieutenant Colonel Ben Hayes was in the Lunar Command Center. He had been waiting for this moment. Ben pressed a series of buttons on his control panel. Lunar defense grid is active, he said into his radio. Firing railguns now. The railguns were Ben's secret project. They were long metal tubes that used magnets to shoot tungsten rods very fast. The rods were simple pieces of metal, but they moved at incredible speed. 3 tungsten rods flew through space toward the alien fleet. Each rod was only as big as a telephone pole, but it moved faster than a bullet. When physics takes over, mass times velocity equals destruction. The first rod hit an alien cruiser right in the middle. The ship was 2,000 feet long and covered with armor. But the tungsten rod went through it like it was made of paper. The alien ship split in half and exploded. The second rod hit another ship and tore off its front section. Alien bodies and metal flew out into space. The third rod missed its target, but scared the aliens badly. "What was that?" Warprimes shouted. "How did they destroy our ships with simple metal rods?" His science officer was confused too. "Sir, they are using kinetic weapons. Very primitive, but moving very fast." Zethkalar had never seen weapons like this. Most advanced species used energy beams or plasma cannons. The humans were fighting with what looked like simple projectiles. Captain Tony Clark was ready for his part of the plan. He sat in the cockpit of Hawk 7, the fastest human fighter ship. Tony had brown hair and green eyes. He was calm, even though he was about to fight an entire alien fleet. "This is Hawk 7, requesting permission to engage," he said into his radio. "Permission granted," Admiral Grant replied from Earth. "Show them what human pilots can do." Tony fired up his engines and flew toward the alien ships. Behind him came 11 other fighter pilots. They were outnumbered, but they had something the aliens did not expect. The Cathtor pilots flew in perfect formations. They followed strict rules about how to fight. Their tactics had worked for hundreds of years against every enemy they faced. But Tony and his pilots did not follow any rules. They flew in crazy patterns that made no sense. They dove under alien ships, then flew up and around them. They moved like angry wasps, attacking a bear. "What are they doing?" asked an alien pilot. "This is not proper battle formation." Tony's ship was small and fast. He flew right between 2 huge alien warships and fired his missiles. The missiles hit the first ship's engines and caused an explosion. The alien ships tried to shoot Tony, but he was too unpredictable. Every time they aimed at him, he was somewhere else. The other human pilots did the same thing. They flew wild and crazy, like they were playing a game instead of fighting a war. "These humans fight like madmen," said one alien officer. Zethkalar was getting angry. "Destroy those small ships. How hard can it be?" But the human fighters were like mosquitoes. They were hard to catch and very annoying. They would attack, then disappear, then attack again from a different direction. Major Kate Williams was on Earth controlling the missile defense system. She watched the battle on her computer screens. Kate was 35 years old and had been planning this defense for years. "Earth missiles, prepare to fire," she said. Kate's missiles were different from normal rockets. They had computer brains that could learn and adapt. Each missile watched how the aliens moved and remembered it. The first wave of missiles flew toward the alien fleet. Some of them hit their targets and caused explosions. Others missed or were shot down by alien defenses. But the second wave of missiles was smarter. They had learned from the first wave. They knew how the alien ships moved and where their weak spots were. More missiles hit their targets this time. The third wave was even better. The missiles worked together like a team. They attacked from different directions and overwhelmed the alien defenses. "Their weapons are learning," reported an alien science officer. "Each attack is more effective than the last." Warprime Zethkalar could not believe what he was seeing. Weapons that got smarter during the battle. This was impossible. Captain Maria Santos commanded the human warship Defiance. Her ship was small compared to the alien vessels, but it was fast and well-armed. Maria had black hair tied back in a ponytail and determined dark eyes. "Take us into the fight," she told her crew. The Defiance flew toward the alien fleet, along with the other 11 human warships. They looked tiny compared to the 847 enemy vessels. But looks can be deceiving. Maria's ship carried a special surprise. Human engineers had been studying captured alien technology for years. They had learned how to copy some alien weapons and make them better. "Fire the new plasma cannons," Maria ordered. The Defiance shot blue beams of energy at the nearest alien ship. The beams were based on alien technology, but improved by human engineering. They cut through the alien ship's shields and armor like a hot knife through butter. "Impossible," said War Prime Zeth Galar. "They are using our own weapons against us." The humans had not just copied alien technology, they had made it better. Human plasma cannons were more focused and more powerful than the original alien versions. The battle continued for 6 hours. The aliens had expected to win in 30 minutes. Instead, they were losing ships faster than they could count. 23 alien vessels had been destroyed or badly damaged. The humans had lost some fighter ships and 2 space stations, but they were still fighting hard. War Prime Zeth Galar called for a retreat. His proud fleet pulled back beyond Mars to regroup. He had never retreated from a battle before. "How did this happen?" he asked his officers. "They are just primitive humans." "Sir," said his science officer, "I think we underestimated them. Their weapons are simple but effective. Their tactics are unpredictable, and they seem to be learning from our attacks." Zeth Galar looked at the reports. His mighty fleet had been hurt by creatures he thought were barely intelligent. The humans had surprised him with kinetic weapons, adaptive missiles, crazy flying tactics, and captured alien technology. But the war was not over. Zeth Galar still had over 800 ships. The humans had shown their tricks, but now he knew what to expect. "Prepare for a full assault," he ordered. "This time we will use our entire fleet. We will crush them completely." Back on Earth, Admiral Grant met with her officers. They had won the first battle, but everyone knew the aliens would come back stronger. "Good work, everyone," she said. "But this was just the beginning. They will not underestimate us again." Dr. Nathan Price had been listening to alien radio signals during the battle. He looked worried. "Admiral, they are calling for reinforcements," he said. "More ships are coming." "How many more?" asked Admiral Grant. "I don't know, but they sound very angry." The humans had proven they could fight, but the real test was still coming. War Prime Zeth Galar would return with everything he had, and this time he would not make the mistake of treating humans like weaklings. The battle for Earth was just beginning. War Prime Zeth Galar was furious. He stood in his command center beyond Mars, staring at the damage reports. 23 of his ships were gone. His officers looked scared and confused. "This will not happen again," he said through clenched teeth. "We will destroy every human in the solar system." The alien commander had called his best battle planners together. They spread out charts and data on a large table. The humans had surprised them once, but that would be the last time. "They cannot handle our full fleet attack," said his war chief. "We will hit them with everything at once." Zeth Galar agreed. This time there would be no mistakes. His 824 remaining ships would attack Earth together in one massive formation. The humans would be overwhelmed and crushed. On Earth, Commander Steve Parker was preparing for the aliens' return. Steve was 40 years old and commanded all human space forces. He had gray hair and calm blue eyes. Steve knew the aliens would come back angry and ready for a real fight. "They will not underestimate us this time," he told his officers. "But we still have surprises they have never seen." Steve's plan was dangerous but clever. The 12 human warships would fly out to meet the alien fleet. To the aliens, it would look like humans were trying to fight them in open space. It would look stupid and desperate. But that was exactly what Steve wanted them to think. Captain Lucy Chen commanded the human destroyer Valiant. She was 32 years old, with short black hair and quick reflexes. Lucy had been part of the secret defense project for 5 years. "Are you sure about this plan?" she asked Steve over the radio. "Flying right at 824 alien ships seems like suicide." "Trust me," Steve replied. "Just get them to follow you. Lead them exactly where we planned." The alien fleet returned to Earth space in a giant formation. The ships moved together like a metal cloud of death. Warprime Zethkalar felt confident again. This time he had overwhelming force. "There are the human ships," reported his scanner officer. "Only 12 vessels coming toward us." Zethkalar laughed. "They are going to fight us in open space? These humans are even more stupid than I thought. Destroy them all." The human ships flew straight at the alien fleet. It looked like a suicide charge. Captain Maria Santos in the Defiance, Captain Lucy Chen in the Valiant, and the other human captains flew their ships directly into the path of destruction. The aliens opened fire with hundreds of plasma cannons. Bright beams of energy filled space like a deadly light show. The human ships dodged and weaved, but they were completely outnumbered. "They are running toward the asteroid belt," observed an alien officer. "Good," said Zethkalar. "We will trap them there and finish this." The human ships flew past Mars and into the asteroid field between Mars and Jupiter. The aliens followed, eager to destroy the small human fleet once and for all. But as soon as the alien ships entered the asteroid belt, everything changed. "Captain." Lucy Chen smiled and pressed a button on her control panel. "Activate hidden defenses," she said. Suddenly, asteroids all around the alien fleet began to move. What the aliens thought were space rocks were actually hidden weapons platforms. Humans had been building secret bases in the asteroid belt for 15 years. Thousands of automated drone fighters emerged from hollow asteroids. Each drone was small and fast, controlled by computer brains. They swarmed toward the alien fleet, like angry metal bees. "What is this?" shouted Warprime Zethkalar. "Where did all these ships come from?" Lieutenant Commander Ryan Foster was on a hidden base inside a large asteroid. He controlled the drone swarms from his secret command center. Ryan was 29 years old and very good with computers. "Drone swarm, Alpha, attack formation," he said into his headset. "Target their engines and weapons." The drones moved in perfect coordination. They were too small for the big alien guns to hit easily, but each drone carried powerful explosives. They flew right up to the alien ships and exploded against their hulls. The aliens tried to fight back, but there were too many drones. For every one they destroyed, 3 more appeared. The asteroid belt was full of hidden launch sites. Captain Donna Wright was flying a captured alien fighter. Humans had been studying crashed alien ships for years. They had learned to fly them and even improve them. Donna was 26 years old, with red hair and a fierce smile. "This is Donna in Stolen Fighter number 7, she said over the radio. "These alien ships handle pretty well once you figure out the controls." Donna and 50 other pilots flew captured alien fighters against the Kethtor fleet. The aliens could not tell which ships were theirs and which were stolen. It created chaos and confusion in their ranks. "Sir, some of our own fighters are attacking us," reported a confused alien officer. "Those are not our fighters," Zeth realized. "The humans have stolen our ships and turned them against us." The battle became a nightmare for the aliens. They were surrounded by thousands of small attackers coming from every direction. Their big ships were designed to fight other big ships, not swarms of tiny enemies. Captain Tony Clark flew his Hawk 7 fighter through the middle of the alien formation. He had painted shark teeth on the front of his ship. Tony was having the time of his life, even though he was probably going to die. "This is like fighting inside a beehive," he said over the radio. "These aliens are getting really mad." The human strategy was working perfectly. The alien ships were bunched together in the asteroid belt, making them easy targets for the drone swarms. They could not use their most powerful weapons without hitting their own ships. Commander Steve Parker watched the battle from his flagship. His plan was succeeding, but the cost was high. Many human pilots were dying in their small ships. The drones were being destroyed by the hundreds. "Sir, we are losing a lot of drones," reported Ryan Foster. "I don't know how much longer we can keep this up." "Hold the line," Steve replied. "We just need to damage them enough." War Prime Zeth Kalar was learning what it felt like to be the prey instead of the hunter. His mighty fleet was being torn apart by creatures he had considered inferior. Over 200 of his ships had been destroyed or badly damaged. "Order a retreat," he finally commanded. "Get us out of this trap." But as the alien ships tried to escape the asteroid belt, they faced one more surprise. Captain Lucy Chen activated the final phase of the human defense. "Magnetic mines, activate," she said. Hidden throughout the asteroid belt were thousands of magnetic mines. They had been drifting silently, disguised as space debris. When Lucy activated them, they flew toward the alien ships like metal missiles. The mines stuck to the alien hulls and exploded. Each explosion sent chunks of alien armor flying through space. The retreating alien fleet limped away from Earth, leaving behind a trail of wreckage and debris. War Prime Zeth Kalar looked at his fleet status. He had started with 847 ships. Now he had fewer than 600 ships that could still fight. The humans had destroyed or crippled over 250 alien vessels. "How is this possible?" he asked his science officer. "They are supposed to be primitive." "Sir, I think we made a mistake," the officer replied quietly. "These humans are not primitive at all. They have been preparing for us." Zeth Kalar realized the truth. The humans had been planning this defense for years, maybe decades. The asteroid belt was not just rocks floating in space. It was a giant weapons system disguised as natural debris. The aliens had walked into a carefully prepared trap. Every asteroid, every piece of space junk, every seemingly innocent object had been placed there for a reason. The humans had turned their entire solar system into a fortress. "What do we do now?" asked his war chief. Zeth Kalar looked at the blue planet in the distance. His pride was wounded, his fleet was damaged, and his reputation was ruined. But he still had enough ships to destroy Earth if he was willing to pay the price. "Prepare the planet killers," he said grimly. "If we cannot conquer this world, we will destroy it completely. No one will ever know that the mighty Kethdor Dominion was defeated by primitive humans." The aliens were about to escalate the war to a level that would decide the fate of both species. The humans had won 2 battles, but the final test was still coming. Earth had shown it could defend itself. Now it would have to prove it could survive total annihilation. War Prime Zeth Kalar had reached his breaking point. His once mighty fleet was broken and scattered. The humans had humiliated him twice. Now there would be no more games, no more mercy. "Bring out the planet killers," he ordered his weapons chief. The alien ships carried massive fusion bombs designed to crack planets in half. These weapons had destroyed entire worlds before. They could boil away oceans and break continents apart. Earth would become a lifeless rock floating in space. "Sir, if we use these weapons, there will be nothing left to conquer," warned his science officer. "I do not care," Zeth Kalar replied coldly. "These humans have made us look like fools. They must die, even if we gain nothing from their destruction." The remaining 600 alien ships moved into position around Earth. Each ship carried enough firepower to level a continent. Together, they could turn Earth into molten slag. On Earth, Admiral Lisa Grant received the news from her deep space monitors. Dr. Nathan Price had intercepted the alien communications and translated their plans. "They are going to try to destroy the entire planet," Nathan said with fear in his voice. "Those weapons can crack Earth like an egg." Lisa looked around the command center. Her officers were scared, but determined. They had come too far to give up now. Are our final defenses ready? She asked. General Rick Thompson stepped forward. Rick was a big man, with gray hair and scars on his hands. He had been preparing for this moment for 25 years. Project Prometheus is ready, he said quietly, but once we activate it, there is no going back. The whole solar system will know what we have built. Rick had been in charge of humanity's most secret project. For decades, humans had been preparing for the day when aliens would try to destroy Earth completely. What they had built was beyond anything the Kethter could imagine. Captain Helen Davis was on the orbital command station above Earth. She controlled the massive space-based weapons that Rick had designed. Helen was 34 years old, with blonde hair and steady hands. Orbital mass drivers are charged and ready, she reported. All targeting systems are online. The mass drivers were Helen's responsibility. They looked like long metal tubes pointing out into space. But these were not ordinary weapons. They were the largest guns ever built by any species. Warprime Zethkalar began the final attack. His ships fired their fusion bombs toward Earth. Dozens of planet-killing weapons flew through. Space like miniature suns. Each bomb could destroy a city in seconds. Fire the mass drivers, Admiral Grant ordered. Helen pressed the activation switch. The orbital mass drivers came to life with a deep humming sound. These weapons used magnetic fields to launch asteroids at incredible speeds. What the aliens thought were mining operations around Earth had actually been the construction of the ultimate defense system. Humans had been moving asteroids into position for years, turning them into projectiles for their giant space guns. The first asteroid left the mass driver at a significant fraction of light speed. It was the size of a building and moving faster than anything the aliens had ever seen. When it hit the lead alien ship, the vessel simply vanished in a flash of light. More asteroids followed. Each one was guided by computer systems and aimed at a different alien ship. The rocks moved so fast that the aliens could not dodge them or shoot them down. "What are those weapons?" screamed an alien officer. Warprime Zethkalar watched in horror as his ships were destroyed by simple rocks moving at impossible speeds. The humans had turned physics itself into a weapon. But the real surprise was still coming. Colonel Mark Johnson was on the moon, but not the part of the moon that most people knew about. Mark commanded Luna Base, hidden deep inside the moon's core. He was 41 years old, with brown hair and intelligent eyes. "Sir, it's time to reveal Luna Base," he said to Admiral Grant over the radio. "Do it," Lisa replied. The moon began to change. Large sections of the lunar surface opened up like flower petals. Hidden underneath was the most powerful weapons platform ever constructed. Major Susan Taylor stood in the main control room inside the moon. The room was huge, with hundreds of control stations and massive computer screens. Susan was 28 years old and had been born on the moon. This secret base was her home. "All weapon systems are online," she reported. "Luna Base is ready for full combat operations." The aliens could not believe what they were seeing. The moon was not a natural satellite. It was a giant weapons platform disguised as a celestial body. Humans had been hollowing it out and filling it with weapons for 50 years. "Impossible," whispered Warprimes. They turned their moon into a battle station. Luna Base fired its main guns, beams of pure energy, more powerful than anything the aliens possessed, reached across space and tore through the Kethtor fleet. Each shot could destroy 3 or 4 alien ships at once. The moon also launched relativistic kill vehicles. These were small projectiles moving at nearly the speed of light. When they hit alien ships, the targets simply ceased to exist. There was no explosion, no debris. The ships were erased from reality. Colonel Mark Johnson coordinated the lunar assault. He had trained for this his entire life. The control room around him buzzed with activity as hundreds of technicians operated the most advanced weapons in human history. "Target the command ships first," Mark ordered. "Cut off their leadership. War Prime Zethkalar realized that his fleet was doomed. The humans had not just been defending their planet, they had been preparing to destroy any enemy that dared to attack them. How long have they been planning this? He asked his science officer. Based on the construction required, at least 50 years, the officer replied. Maybe longer. The alien commander understood now. Humans were not a primitive species that had gotten lucky. They were a race of warriors who had spent generations preparing for interstellar war. Every human settlement, every space station, every mining operation had been designed with combat in mind. The entire solar system was a fortress. Earth was not just defended, it was the center of a military machine that spanned millions of miles. Captain Helen Davis continued firing the orbital mass drivers. Each asteroid that left the weapons struck an alien ship with the force of a nuclear bomb. The aliens' shields and armor meant nothing against projectiles moving at such incredible speeds. Enemy fleet strength down to 400 ships, she reported. But the aliens were not giving up. Some of their fusion bombs had gotten through the human defenses. War Prime Zethkalar watched as several bombs headed toward Earth's surface. At least we will kill some of them, he said bitterly. However, the humans had one more surprise. As the fusion bombs approached Earth, they suddenly changed direction. They turned around and flew back toward the alien fleet. Dr. Nathan Price had developed the technology. He called it gravitational field manipulation. Human scientists had learned to create artificial gravity wells that could redirect incoming projectiles. Their own bombs are attacking them, laughed Captain Tony Clark over the radio. He was still flying his fighter ship through the battle. These humans think of everything. The redirected fusion bombs exploded among the alien ships. The Kethtar fleet was being destroyed by their own planet-killer weapons. War Prime Zethkalar knew the battle was lost. His mighty armada was in ruins. Hundreds of ships were destroyed or drifting helplessly in space. The humans had revealed weapons beyond his understanding. Order all remaining ships to retreat, he commanded. We must escape while we still can. But as the alien ships tried to flee, they discovered one final horror. Their jump drives were not working. The systems that allowed faster-than-light travel had been sabotaged during the earlier battles. When human fighters had gotten close to alien ships, they had done more than just attack. They had uploaded computer viruses into the alien systems. Now those viruses were activating, shutting down the aliens' ability to escape. Captain Lucy Chen smiled as she watched the alien ships realize they were trapped. Computer viruses, she said over the radio. Sometimes the old tricks are the best tricks. The surviving alien ships were stuck in Earth's solar system with no way to leave. Their weapons were damaged, their defenses were broken, and their escape route was cut off. Admiral Lisa Grant opened a communication channel to the alien fleet. Her voice was calm but deadly serious. This is Admiral Grant of Earth. You came here to destroy our world and kill our people. You have failed. Surrender now, or we will finish what you started. War Prime Zethkalar looked around his damaged command center. His officers were wounded, and his ship was falling apart. He had fewer than 300 functional ships left from his original fleet of 847. The humans had not just defeated him, they had humiliated him completely. These primitive creatures had weapons that made his technology look like stone tools. What are your terms? He asked weakly. No terms, Admiral Grant replied. Total surrender or total destruction. You have 30 minutes to decide. For the first time in his long military career, War Prime Zethkalar realized he was not the hunter, he was the prey. War Prime Zethkalar stared at the communication screen. Admiral Grant's face looked back at him with cold determination. He had 30 minutes to decide between surrender and death. Sir, what are your orders? Asked his science officer. The alien's voice shook with fear. Zethkalar looked around his damaged command center. Sparks flew from broken computers. The air smelled of smoke and burned metal. His proud fleet was in ruins. "Signal the fleet," he said quietly. "All ships prepare to surrender." But before he could send the message, something unexpected happened. A group of his younger officers pulled out their weapons. "We will not surrender to these creatures," said War Commander Vextal. He was Zeth Kalar's second in command. "The Dominion does not bow to inferior species." "Stand down," Zeth Kalar ordered. "We have lost. There is no shame in admitting defeat." "There is shame in surrendering to humans," Vextal replied. He pointed his weapon at his commander. "I am taking control of this fleet." The alien bridge erupted in chaos. Some officers supported Zeth Kalar, others followed Vex. Weapons fire filled the command center as the aliens fought each other. Captain Alex Turner was watching this from his human patrol ship. Alex commanded the pursuit fleet that was hunting down escaping aliens. He was 33 years old, with dark hair and sharp eyes. "Admiral, the aliens are fighting each other," he reported to Earth. "It looks like a mutiny." "Let them fight," Admiral Grant replied. "Either way, they will not escape." Vextal killed Zeth Kalar and took control of the alien fleet, but he only had 200 ships left that could still fight. The others were too damaged or had surrendered already. "All ships, prepare for one final attack," Vextal ordered. "We will take as many humans with us as possible." The remaining alien ships charged toward Earth in a desperate final assault. They had nothing left to lose. Their weapons were damaged, and their ships were falling apart. But they would die fighting. Major Susan Taylor tracked them from Luna Base. The massive weapons inside the moon turned toward the approaching enemies. 200 hostiles incoming, she reported. "They are on a suicide run. Destroy them all." Admiral Grant ordered. Luna Base fired everything it had. Energy beams, kinetic projectiles, and guided missiles filled space around Earth. The charging alien ships were torn apart before they could get close to the planet. In 10 minutes, the last of the Kethtar fleet was destroyed. Space around Earth was filled with wreckage and debris. Not a single alien ship remained intact. Captain Alex Turner flew through the debris field, checking for survivors. His scanners found a few escape pods with living aliens inside. He captured them for questioning. Dr. Nathan Price studied the captured alien computers and databases. What he found shocked everyone. The Kethtar Dominion controlled hundreds of star systems. They had enslaved dozens of different species. Earth was just supposed to be their latest conquest. "Admiral, look at this," Nathan said, showing her the alien star charts. "They have detailed maps of their entire empire, military bases, supply routes, population centers, everything." Admiral Grant studied the information carefully. The Kethtar had made a fatal mistake. They had given humans the knowledge to fight back against their entire empire. "How many species are under Kethtar control?" she asked. "At least 47 different races," Nathan replied. "Most of them were conquered in the last 300 years." Lisa looked round the command center. Her officers were tired, but victorious. They had saved Earth, but now they faced a bigger question. What should they do with their victory? General Rick Thompson had an idea. "We could free those enslaved species. Use the alien star charts to attack Kethta bases and liberate their prisoners. That would mean going to war with an entire galactic empire," warned Colonel Mark Johnson. "They already went to war with us," replied Captain Maria Santos. "We just won." Admiral Grant made the decision that would change human history forever. Instead of staying on Earth and waiting for more enemies, humans would take the fight to their attackers. "Begin construction of the interstellar fleet," she ordered. "We are going to visit the Kethta Dominion and introduce ourselves properly." 6 months later, the first human interstellar fleet was ready to launch. Captain Julie Martinez commanded the converted dreadnought Retribution. Julie was 31 years old, with red hair and fierce determination. The Retribution was built using CAPTURED, alien technology, improved by human engineering. It was faster and more powerful than any Kethter ship. Behind it came 50 other human vessels, all armed with the weapons that had destroyed the alien invasion fleet. "Are you ready for this?" Admiral Grant asked Julie over the communication link. "We have been ready for this our entire lives," Julie replied. "Time to show the galaxy what humans can do." The human fleet activated their faster-than-light drives and disappeared from Earth's space. Their destination was the nearest Kethtar military base, 300 light-years away. As they traveled through hyperspace, Julie recorded a message. She would transmit it to every Kethtor world and every enslaved species in the Dominion. "This is Captain Julie Martinez of the Earth Defense Force," she said into the camera. "We are humanity. 6 months ago, you sent 847 warships to destroy our world and kill our people. Those ships never made it home." She paused and looked directly into the camera. Her eyes were cold and determined. "We tried to live in peace. We never bothered anyone. We just wanted to be left alone on our small blue planet. But you would not let us live in peace. You came to our home, uninvited. You tried to murder our families. You made a terrible mistake." Julie stood up and walked to the window of her ship. Stars streaked past as the human fleet traveled toward enemy territory. "We know about your empire. We know about the species you have enslaved. We know about your military bases and supply routes. We have your star charts and your databases. We know everything." She turned back to the camera. Behind her, the stars looked like arrows pointing toward the Kethter worlds. "You taught us that. There are monsters in the galaxy. Creatures who destroy entire civilizations for fun. Species who enslave others and call it progress. Well, congratulations. You have created something worse than monsters." Julie smiled, but it was not a friendly smile. It was the smile of a predator who had cornered its prey. "You have awakened humanity. We are coming for you, and we will not be as merciful as you would have been. Every world you have enslaved will be freed. Every species you have conquered will be liberated. Every Kethtar military base will be destroyed." She stepped closer to the camera. Her voice became quiet but deadly serious. "Run, hide, surrender. It will not matter. We will hunt you across the galaxy if we have to. You wanted to see how humans fight when their families are threatened. Now you will learn." The message ended. Captain Julie Martinez sent it to every communication relay in Kethter space. Soon, every alien in the Dominion would know that the humans were coming. On Earth, Admiral Grant watched the human fleet disappear into hyperspace. The planet that had almost been destroyed was now launching its own conquest of the galaxy. "Think they will surrender when they see us coming?" asked General Thompson. "I hope not," Admiral Grant replied. "After what they tried to do to us, they deserve everything that is coming to them." The war for Earth was over. The humans had won completely. 847 alien warships had entered Earth's orbit 6 months ago. None of them had made it back home, but the real war was just beginning. Humanity was no longer the defenders. They had become the storm that would sweep across the galaxy. Every species that had bowed to the Kethtar Dominion would soon learn what happened when you disturbed a sleeping giant. The humans were coming, and they were not in a forgiving mood. In the depths of space, the human fleet traveled toward its first target. Behind them, Earth continued its preparations for interstellar war. The species that had once struggled to reach their own moon was now ready to conquer the stars. The galaxy would never be the same again.